Now, 2 weeks ago, there was a large protest supporting the so-called Freedom Convoy here in Toronto. Somewhere in that crowd, there was a woman carrying a sign that went viral.
It was a sign about her mother, a woman who wasn't vaccinated and attended a number of anti-vaccine rallies in Europe. A few days after attending a rally in Zurich, she started to feel sick. It started with a cough and a fever. Weeks later, she was admitted to hospital and died of COVID-19. Here to share her story tonight is Ute Lehrer, a professor at York University. Thank you so much for being with us. We are so sorry for your loss. Let's begin with that counter demonstration at Queen's Park. You showed up there this month, and you showed up with a sign that went viral. What did that sign say?
My mother died of COVID. Get vaccinated, you idiots. On the other side of the sign, it said, COVID is real.
What motivated you to go and attend this counter protest that day?
To commemorate my mother and her life. I think it was the right thing to do, to show support for the healthcare workers that work long hours, incredible work for 2 years now, always on high alert everywhere, if it's in Toronto or as it was in Switzerland for my mother. These people, they really need our support and our thank you. So I went on the rally for thanking the healthcare workers, and at the same time also to carry the memory of my mother with me, and also to try to create a counter-public to what we saw with the other so-called freedom rally. So.
I want to talk more about your mother if we can. You say your mom was brainwashed over the years, that she got sucked in by social media conspiracy theories. Despite her medical background, how do you think that happened, and what was that like to witness?
To witness, it was very painful to see somebody of the intelligence and the magnitude as my mother was. She was a medical doctor, she was a pathologist. She actually even worked on infectious diseases partly, and did some discoveries. And when the 2003 SARS crisis was happening in Toronto, she was fully in favor of the measures at that time. So one would think that, you know, when the pandemic came around, that she would be in favor of vaccination, of masking up and so on. She looked at it as if it was just a regular flu. And that was the result of, you know, having been brainwashed, as I would like to call it, since 2016, when, you know, she started to fill her life, her emptiness of her husband just had died, her new emptiness with YouTube videos of a particular kind that changed her mind. And really, the only way to describe it, it was really a brainwash. So it was very sad to see her, somebody, as I said earlier, of her intelligence and understanding of the medical industry. So.
But there was a change of heart later on when your mom went to a hospital on her deathbed. What did she say at that point?
Well, in her case, it was all very fast. So she came into the hospital on a Monday, and on a Friday to Saturday, she died. On the Friday morning, on Thursday afternoon, she started to call people around and text people and said, I will come out of here. I'm just in a hospital, nothing major. I will be dying as old as my mother was. And that was 14 years older than she is, or was. And then in the night, when it really happened, the nurse told me that she was struggling with the reality that she actually had coronavirus, and that is the coronavirus that is actually killing her. And so she was really struggling with this understanding, this new understanding that she could not turn the wheel back, that she couldn't quickly get vaccinated or miracle, kind of something that would save her life. So if she had survived that night, I think she would have, come on my side, would have been at this demonstration at Mount Sinai a week ago in order to support the healthcare workers of Toronto.
It's so difficult to have to listen to that, knowing that she couldn't go back and get vaccinated. And you say by the time she realized it was just too late for her. What do you think she would want these anti-vaccine protesters to know? What can they learn from her story?
I think what people can learn in general is that you have to be careful what you're listening to. And, we have so many different forms of getting information, and social media should not be the only one. Just listening to one crowd of people is never good. You get sucked in. So, what she would say to these demonstrators, she would encourage them to look beyond of what they have been reading recently or thinking and talking to each other. I think she would take a very strong stance, I would hope. And when I was on the demonstration, I felt her presence, her presence in me, and she was supporting us on this side of the argument to get vaccinated, to live with the measures, and we all are stronger together. Yeah, and really, we have to get out of this without fighting. We actually have to come out with helping each other, caring for each other. And I think that this is what the healthcare workers in Toronto, in Canada, around the world are doing. And so we really should work with them and not against them. It's very sad that healthcare workers now have to, can't put on their uniforms in public because they might get, exposed to comments of these people. This is all not really fair. So.
Ute, we know this is an incredibly difficult time. Once again, our condolences to you and your family. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us.